surgeons performed the first heart transplant back in 1967. Now, 40 years later, surgeons perform more than 2,000 heart transplants in this country each year. In tonight's Prescription Arkansas report, Ann Jansen introduces us to a man who not only received a second chance at life, but also a third.
One night I just laid down and I hadn't been feeling well, been short of breath, and my lungs just filled up with fluid, and I'd been gaining weight for no reason.
43-year-old Kevin Johnson didn't know at the time that his heart was failing.
I checked in the hospital. They thought I had pneumonia and treated me for that for a while, which is commonly misdiagnosed, and ended up having heart failure due to a virus. They don't know really what caused it, and probably will never know.
Kevin had always been the picture of health. He played basketball most of his life, including in college, where he's now a member of the Lyon College Athletics Hall of Fame. His love of basketball and the Lord took him on mission trips around the world. He married his high school sweetheart, Tammy, and they started a family, which now includes their grown daughter, Jill, and young son, Caleb. The furthest thing from his mind was heart disease.
It's pretty unusual for someone, my age to have something and to have it that severe.
Doctors tried everything to treat it.
Kevin had heart failure that persisted in spite of medical therapies, in spite of device therapies. He had a pacemaker, defibrillator placed, and in spite of those treatments, he continued to have severe heart failure.
Dr. Hutchins broke the news to Kevin. If he was to survive, he would need a heart transplant. By spring of 2006, you could tell just by looking at Kevin that something was very wrong. His face was yellow and drawn. And in June of last year, Father's Day to be exact, Kevin got the best Father's Day present of all, a new heart.
Instantly, when you wake up from surgery, from having a bad heart to a good one, you feel better. It's just really incredible.
After 3 great months of recovery, tests showed Kevin was rejecting his new heart.
It eventually failed to the point where they said I was going to need another transplant.
Kevin's course for this first transplant was very unusual, not the normal. Fortunately, we don't often do transplants within 6 months of the first transplant. This was a very unusual situation.
They cleared me at the Mayo Clinic in January, and I came back here and was placed back on the list January 19th and received this second heart on February 3rd.
So far, things are going well for Kevin. He's back to walking and back to feeling like himself again, and he encourages everyone to give the gift of life.
I would just encourage people to put it on their, next time you get your driver's license, check it, I want to be an organ donor, and definitely tell your next of kin. It's so important that you do that, and you can save up to 7 people's lives with the different organs that you can give them, and you can just give the gift of life to so many that are in need, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful that 2 families chose to do that for me.
Ann Jansen, today's THV.
Kevin says he could have had his transplant at the world-famous Mayo Clinic, but instead chose doctors at Baptist. He says he will forever be grateful to them and to the families who blessed him with another chance at life.